Go down the side. They do. Stock's got it. He's got running room. Stockton, dive, hang it up. It's good. It's good. The Jazz win it. The Jazz win it. I can't believe it. The Jazz win it. An unbelievable finish. John Stockton, Calvin layup. Can you believe it? The most incredible finish I have ever seen in my life. Incredible. John Stockton, a breakaway.
What a moment. ESPN's docuseries The Last Dance follows the Bulls' 1998 championship season as well as much of Michael Jordan's career. No doubt it will include a lot of Utah Jazz memories. But Jordan's career against the Jazz was much more than just back-to-back finals series. Last week, you saw that highlight. We took a look at his career against Utah during the 1980s. Well, this week, we jump into the 90s, starting off in Salt Lake on November 12, 1990. In the first quarter, Jordan with the steal and gets extra fancy. Behind the back, lays it up and in. He was feeling creative all night. How about this circus shot? Gets in the lane and flips it home. It looked like the Jazz would have a 2-point lead after one quarter, but right after Blue Edwards sinks the free throw, Will Perdue chucks it down floor to Jordan. The touch pass to Stacey King with 1.6 left to tie it up, and then it got fun.
Put it up, three-pointer. He made it at the buzzer. He made it. It counts. Incredible. The Jazz give up 5 points in 4 seconds of play.
Ouch. In the second quarter, the Jazz trying to get the transition game going. Jordan chases down John Stockton with the block. That quickly leads to Bulls transition opportunity. Jordan to King, the dunk. Stockton did end up with 13 points in the game. Here's 3 the hard way by Johnny Basketball, off the glass and the foul. He also had 14 assists. One of the best assists in the game right here. Whips it to Jeff Malone on the break for an easy 2. Remember that spin move from Jordan earlier in this highlight? Well, this time Mark Eaton is the victim. No chance on this play. But that's when the mailman wakes up the crowd.
He'll lead it to the 90 run. Jazz on the run. Left side of the mailman. Hammer dunk. The mailman. Go in there. Loop it up and left hand. Wild shot.
28 points, 19 rebounds for Karl. 2 assists. This one, a fastball to Jeff Malone for 2. The game was tied at 82 in final 30 seconds. The Jazz have a shot to take the lead. Stockton is going to split the defenders with the pass to Malone. Malone, he can't convert. Chicago gets the ball back with 15 seconds left, and it's no secret who's going to get the final shot.
5 seconds. Left side of Pippen. They want to go to Jordan. They got him. 2 seconds. Jordan. Left side. 20-footer. Good. Jordan did it. The game is over. Chicago wins it. Michael Jordan. Incredible shot on the left side at the buzzer.
A year after Stockton's last-second heroics, Jordan knocks the wind out of the arena for the 84-82 win, the final game Jordan would play in the old Salt Palace. 4 months later, the Jazz were in Chicago. It was another close contest and another look at the jersey of the greatest Bull of all time in the rafters, Jerry Sloan. First half, Jeff Malone blocked by Scottie Pippen. Bulls on the run. Pippen to Jordan. You know how this is going to end. Jazz get the ball back, and they are running the good old pick and roll. Stockton to Eaton for the hammer. 11 points, 16 rebounds for the big man. The Jazz led by 5 at the half, kept building that lead in the third quarter. The mailman up and under for the layup, led by 7 after 3 quarters. The Bulls not fading yet. Jordan is going to get the bucket and the foul. Upon further review, take a look at this. Jazz fans, they'll always call that a push-off, right? MJ, maybe a little magic there. I'm just saying that this time Jordan beats everyone down the baseline, though, for the dunk. That Jazz lead is now gone. The mailman trying to keep pace with Jordan, though.
Karl cross the middle, left to right. Slam dunk. Count it. He's fouled. The mailman. Foul. Horace Grant.
That one's worth another look, and John Stockton is loving it. Look how fired up he is about that. Jazz trailing by 3 late in the game. Jordan with a chance for the dagger, and of course, he hits it. 37 for MJ. Karl Malone led the Jazz with 19. The Jazz 0-2 against Jordan and the Bulls in that 1990-91 season. Well, in the 91-92 season, the Jazz first met the Bulls in Chicago in January, and this time there's a championship banner in the rafters. Start the second half, the Jazz had a 2-point lead. Jeff Malone played lights out with the mid-range jumper. Then Jeff Malone for the off-balance fading shot. He would finish the game with 16. Stockton had 15 assists. But surprise, surprise, Michael did Michael things. Hits the jumper over Jeff Malone. The Bulls climbing back into the lead in the fourth. A turnaround fall away is money by Jordan. Another jumper here by Jordan from the free throw line. I mean, that's his money game all day long, that mid-range game. Michael finished with 37 points, 5 rebounds, bringing the Bulls back to beat the Jazz by 15 points. Now, earlier that season, the Jazz had opened their brand new arena, the Delta Center, and the team experienced instant home court advantage, losing only 4 games all season long there. And when the world champion Bulls came to town on February 3rd, they got everything they could handle from that hometown crowd and the Jazz 2 all-star players. The Jazz were running early and often in the first half. Big Mark Eaton on the rebound, outlet to John Stockton, ahead to David Benoit. He's flying high for the dunk. Buckets didn't come easy early on for Jordan, blocked by Eaton. The Jazz run the other way. Stockton takes it in for the layup. Jazz led by 5 at the half. Now the Jazz defense gets things going in the second half.
Jeff knocks it away. Picked up by Stockton. Knocks it down the left side. Cross court to Melvin. Hammer down.
I do love it, Hot Rod. The most emphatic of Carl's 34 points. He also was a monster on the glass with 21 boards, but the Bulls outscored the Jazz by 7 in the fourth quarter. Jordan to the hoop, blocked by Stockton, but Will Perdue is there for the putback and the foul. In the final minute, Jazz down 2. Stockton is going to get the reverse layup to tie the game at 89. Now under 10 seconds to go. Still tied, but Stockton uncharacteristically, he's going to throw this ball away. So the Bulls will have the last shot in regulation. Michael Jordan, a chance for the win. Here it is, the jumper. It's money, right? No, he misses, and we go to overtime. He rarely misses twice. So in the first OT, the step-back 3 with 6 seconds left to tie the game, and it's good. So we go to double overtime. MJ missed 2 free throws, giving John Stockton a chance to force a third overtime.
For Stockton. Stockton down the left side. Three-pointer. Good. John Stockton.
The Jazz to get the basketball back. What some opportunities here. Big shots.
Yeah, so in the third overtime, Michael Jordan ties the game at 123 with the jumper. In true Jerry Sloan fashion, just run it back the other way. No timeout called. Jeff Malone is fouled by Jordan with a second left. Mike is furious. He gets teed up and tossed. The Jazz make free throws. They win the game 126-123. Afterwards, Phil Jackson did not hold back.
Whatever he said, the referee deserved it because you don't make foul calls like that at the end of an NBA game. People know it. It's a desperation drive. You know, I don't even know how much you got him, but you just don't make those calls.
Now, when the Bulls first matched up against the Jazz in the 1992-93 season, Karl Malone matched Michael Jordan point for point in a 4-point game at the Delta Center. This one was on February 1st, 1993. The Jazz were up 8 in the final seconds of the half when this happened.
Jordan, a 50-footer he made it. Michael Jordan. Oh, what a shot. I mean, that was a shot. That was not a throw. He actually shot that ball just across midcourt.
Yeah, the Jazz led 45-40 at the break. Karl Malone kept the Jazz rolling in the third quarter. He was 14 of 18 from the field for a game-high 40 points. The Jazz were up by 15 going into the fourth quarter. Enter his airness. Jordan, the crossover and the jumper. Then he's going to drive it in and bank it home for 2 more. And that crossover is just a killer, especially against Jeff Malone. Seems like he was the victim of it a lot because here's another one and another long jumper. He finished with 37 points. Then under a minute to go in the game, Jazz now trailing. John Stockton nails the three-pointer. 20 seconds later, a chance to tie it up. Ty Corbin misses the layup. The Bulls outscore the Jazz by 19 in the fourth, and the Jazz lose by 4.
We facilitated the comeback, and of course they hit great shots. Jordan went crazy, and that's what happens.
Now, the second time the Jazz and Bulls met that season was in Chicago on Michael Jordan's birthday. The Jazz trying to beat Jordan at the United Center. Scottie Pippen steals it from Stockton. MJ is going to come up with the acrobatic finish. Oh, up and under for the layup. You know, David Benoit, one of the best dunkers as well at this time, puts it down. 14 points for him in this game. Michael Jordan was the complete player, though. From the parking lot. Scottie Pippen, we all know how he can get up and throw down as well. Put back there. 14 points for him. The mailman led the team with 20 points in this game for the Jazz. His fadeaway jump shot, but Jordan on the receiving end of the alley-oop cannot be stopped. Finished with 27 points. The Jazz were beat by 18 points. Well, we know the story here. Jordan didn't play in '94, went and played baseball, right? But when he returned in late '95, the Jazz had already played the Bulls twice, so they went 2 seasons without meeting up on the court. The next meeting was on November 24th, 1995, and Jordan picked up right where he left off the last time he played the Jazz. First time wearing those black uniforms, too, against the Jazz, and Jordan scorched the team. He also pulled down 8 rebounds, dished out 6 assists. The Jazz offense was a bit sluggish. John Stockton driving for 2 and draws the foul from Jordan. Then he hits the 3. He had 23 points in the game. This was Jordan's night, though, a game-high 34 in a 90-85 loss. A month later, 2 nights before Christmas, there was a new face on the Bulls. Dennis Rodman picked up in a trade. This game was also all Chicago. Only 4 players scored in double figures: Jordan, Pippen, Malone, and Stockton. But Jordan and Pippen combined for 58, while Stockton and Malone just 32. It was a 186 loss to the Bulls as Chicago improved to 23-2 with that win.